I'm so excited to have a multifaceted guest with us today, Franck Krynen, who is the owner and operator at Paysage, which is located right here in North Hills. And Franck runs the family business with his mother, Gigi. She actually started it, and it's a boutique design studio and design firm. And Franck, thank you so much for being with us today.
You're welcome.
So tell me a little bit about you, Franck.
I got here about less than a year ago, coming from Vancouver. And before that, I did travel quite a bit, spent over 10 years in China.
Wow.
And worked in the food and beverage industry prior to really getting involved into interior design and working with mom. So,
well, I want to come back to the food and beverage because I am fascinated by that, because that is a lot of things going on from China to Vancouver and then landing here in Raleigh. So tell me a little bit about Paysage and what makes you all so special.
So Paysage, that's our second store here in North Hills. The first one is in Wilmington, the flagship one that has been open over there for 15 years now. And here in North Hills, we've been here for 5 years.
Yeah.
And we just try to bring the best product, be different, step out from what everybody has, and offer interior design services and make people happy with what they have in their home.
Well, you are definitely different. You have a specifically curated collection of items from all over the world. And that's something that we don't see here every day. So share a little bit about the collections that you have in the store.
Yeah, you try to be different and really just, Gigi and I just go out and travel quite a bit. Yeah. Every year we go to Paris, we go to New York, we go to Atlanta, of course, we go to High Point, and we really search for products that are different, whether it's modern, whether it's antique, whether it's beautiful for us or not. We try to bring things that we believe people in Raleigh and Wilmington will really enjoy to put in their home.
And it's obviously worked for you because you've been in a great location here in North Hills for 5 years, in Wilmington for so much longer than that. Every time I go in there, I find that there are things that you just don't see anywhere else, which is pretty remarkable. You've got gifts as well as homewares.
That's right, gifts, homewares, and we're really right now trying also to take another step a little further by us going to the customer, going to the people's house and helping with what is interior design. So Paysage Home and interior design, that's really what we're trying also to achieve as well, is really to bring our services to the people's home.
And that's where it's important, because I know when I'm trying to work on a project in my house, I can go into a store, I can talk to whoever's in there, talk to the designers, but until they come to my house and see exactly how it all fits together, it's a little harder to do. So I was really excited when I heard that was a part of your business. So let's talk about that a little bit. How does it work? Are you helping with plans, or are you starting after the house is designed?
After the house is designed, you design your home, you work with your architects, you build, you do everything. And then I like to call it, we are the second pair of eyes. Yeah. It's when you're like struggling, when you don't really know if that should be here or there, or what will be the colors and everything. Mm-hmm. We come, we help, we give you opinions, we bring things to show you exactly and allow you to even come to the store and take something that you can try.
Oh, I love that.
It's a very good way. It's so difficult sometimes to make decision on the spot, whether a pillow is going to fit or not, the right color. Yeah. So we try to help and be that second pair of eyes to guide you and help you make the right choice.
And it sounds like it's a super concierge level service, because I don't know about you, but every time I go into a showroom, the lighting is way different than it is in my home. So I look at something in a showroom and I think, oh, this color's going to work well with everything that I have. And you spend $200 on a pillow and you bring it home and it's like, that didn't turn out so well.
And we want to avoid that. And that's the best way to avoid it, is to talk and communicate and make decisions and share ideas. And like you say, the light, for example, daylight in a room at night, during the day, how does it affect the product that you're going to buy, right?
The other thing too is that rooms function so differently depending on how they're used, right? So if you're using a room like a family room where you're watching TV there, you're hanging out with your kids, you're going to lay around in that room a little bit differently than you might in just a lounge type of area where you're inviting your your neighbors to come over.
You have that, and you have the fact that, you know, everybody lives their life differently.
Yeah.
And so a home for you, for me, is going to be different. So we have to adapt to that. And that's where the communication is so important. When you come to the store and you talk with us and you explain a little bit and we get to see where you live, then we get to advise and recommend, I think, what is the best for the customers, pretty much.
That's such a great service. And I've heard from some of your clients, they love working with you guys. Your service level is above and beyond what they find in other places. And that means a lot to you and Gigi.
It's, I think, the most important. You know, we can go back to food and beverage and what I've done in the past, and it is the rule. The rule is every customer has to leave the restaurant or the store happy. And that's what we target. It has to be. It's the point.
I think that's valuable because it does match our brands. You know, the whole part of this show is bringing on people who are running businesses and doing things in this market that are special, but that also match our brand. And we are a concierge-level boutique real estate firm. Like, we believe that our clients' goals are more important than ours, and that we are an advisor to help get them there. And that's very similar to what you're saying.
Exactly. Customer satisfaction. Well, there is the rule of the word of mouth. People that are happy will tell their friends that they've been happy. And that's how you bring business back.
Absolutely.
It's not by advertising a magazine, even though that helps for sure. But I rely on word of mouth. And I know that everybody has 10 friends, and that if I satisfy someone, the 10 friends are going to know about it.
Absolutely, they are. So, Franck, I want to go back to your food and beverage background, because I met you here at a neighbor to neighbor. Obviously, I've known your mom for a while, but we did a neighbor to neighbor function here in North Hills, and I met you, and I found it so interesting that you're now in design. You're running the store, running the business, really, but you have this incredible food and beverage background.
Yeah, and that's really where business started for me.
Yeah.
It's, I traveled a lot. I went and spent 10 years in China. I did open my own restaurant over there at some point in Shanghai, and really started to take that role of manager from, started with the manager position and then got involved into wine, which for me was great. And then when China was over, I moved to Vancouver and worked very hard for a large group that had 10 restaurants in Vancouver. And then, COVID happened and the restaurant shut down. And so I was lucky, very lucky, to have Mom or Gigi by my side that said, hey, why don't you just forget about the food and beverage and get involved into interior design? And I found my new passion and decided to jump in.
Moms are really good at pulling their kids back to where they are. I think anybody who's listening would know that. And I want to chat about the wine piece, because the wine piece is you are a wine aficionado. You are training. You are very into it. So tell us a little bit about that wine background, because that's a huge piece of home and entertaining and, really like how you live.
It is. It's very, for me, very important, because I discovered so much with wine and I love it so much. And there is so much behind just a regular bottle of wine, but it's very similar to interior design in the way that you can have a good meal, but the wine is going to make it better. And so, between that and interior design, you have the home, and then everything that I have in the store is going to make it better. And so there is that connection, and you need to know and you need knowledge in order to be successful at this.
Yeah.
And so I learned a lot with wine, spent a lot of time studying, and got diplomas and everything about wine, and I really enjoy it still today.
Well, I can't wait to see the day when Paysage has a very elevated wine counter there, where we can, because we give gifts of wine all the time. Like that's a great gift to give to someone when they're passionate about it. Because if you're into whites or Pinots or French wines or Italian wines, you're into it, right?
I mean, for sure. And you can talk about wines, but with wines comes dining. With dining comes glasses. With wine comes decanters. With wines there's so much around the dining table that means interior design as well.
Well, and I agree with that, because I believe that the heart of relationships and the intimacy begins over breaking bread together, right? Like when you sit down at a table and you have a conversation, there is so much that goes into that from all of your senses, especially when you have beautiful glassware, beautiful tableware in a beautiful setting.
For sure. I mean, that's that's why restaurants always try to look as good as they look, because you know that it helps the dinner to be, or the meal to be better when you have a beautiful space and when you have beautiful glassware and cutleries and plates. And it's part of making the home beautiful. The dining table has to be set the right way for the dining room to be great.
It does. So tell me a little bit about what your passion is for design. What lights you up?
Light me up is definitely the store for me. It's
you like being in there and interacting.
I love my store, the Wilmington store, just to open the store and open boxes and make it different. I mean, sometimes I get to lose some of the accessories or the product that I have because we move them around all the time, and we just want the experience for customers to walk in the store and feel like something has changed, something is new, that new products have arrived. It just brings so much satisfaction when people tell you, it's funny, but I was here 2 days ago and it doesn't look the same, you know? That's
the beauty of merchandising. See, at my house, nothing ever moves around. It all stays exactly where it is.
But that feeling of, sometimes I feel like things move when I'm not there, and that's a good feeling, you know? It's... And when there is a lot of products and a lot of items, beautiful items, and you look at your store and you feel like it looks good, it makes me happy.
Well, and you are a host at heart. So you've started hosting some events in the store. Tell me a little bit about what you're doing.
That's right.
I find it so interesting.
Yeah, I think, it's something that we're going to do more and more. But I've reached out to the residents in beautiful North Hills across the Six Forks, and I've done pop-ups. That's the way I started. I started with pop-up over there, bringing 50, 60 items. And then I say to the residents, why don't we do something for you? And why don't you bring your resident to the store? And so it just happened that people like to do that. And so now each resident can come at some point of time, some date in the store and spend 3 hours with us, have a couple of snacks, a couple of glasses of champagne, and feel like they are in the store, but it's not a store.
Yeah.
It's
an experience.
That's right. And so the feedback has been great. And so we love to do this.
You have one coming up, I think, right?
That's right. There is one on Thursday for the Pop Central residents across Six Forks. And from 6 to 9 on Thursday, every resident of Pop Central can come and walk in, and the store is theirs. It's close to everybody else. Very private and very special.
That is special, and it just gives you an opportunity to kind of linger around, sit, feel the furnishings, enjoy the space, and get to know each other. Because at the end of the day, what makes you special is the way you know your customers, right? What makes us special is how we know our customers.
And it's North Hills. We see the changes, we see the work that has been done around the neighborhood, and we see whose residents coming up, and we see new people coming all the time. And also the conversation that you have in the store when it's a private event like this, you feel like you can ask questions a little bit different than if you were just doing your regular shopping every day, So
I would agree. It sounds like we might need to have a Coley Group curated event at your store. So I would love to chat with you a little bit about that. So tell us where we can find you. Where is the store?
So the store is located, I like to say, right next to Anthropology and next to Restoration Hardware. So now it's open for the back.
Finally.
Exactly. So we're very, very happy. My big window on the side is being seen, and it's beautiful. And especially right now with the Christmas season, it's absolutely gorgeous.
And then where can they find you online?
Online, www.paysage.com, that's the website, but we are very strong on Instagram as well. So Paysage Home on Instagram is a very, very good way to shop, ask questions, dimensions, price, anything that you have in mind, you can just ask it on Instagram.
I love that. If you don't follow them on Instagram, you need to. And thank you so much for watching today's Best of Raleigh on Paysage with our guest, Franck Krynen. We are so excited to hear all about him, his incredible background. We think Raleigh is a pretty special place, and we love this show sharing the people, places, and the businesses that make Raleigh so special. And every guest that comes on this show is someone that I know and trust. We've spent a lot of time with Franck today, and I would love to hear what you think about today's episode and what you love most about the Best of Raleigh. So head over to the comments and let's get the conversation started. And if you like what you've seen today, follow us and stay in the know with all of our episodes on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us in today's episode of The Best of Raleigh. And Frank, thank you.
Thank you very much.